Hello, all. Welcome to our podcast. So this is our first podcast, and this is Sam, and I have a guest here, Sarah,
Hey guys.
and we are going to talk about a very interesting topic, which is relationships and dating. So Sarah has a lot of words to say on that. So we'll start with a few questions. So here's the thing. How do you think the dating world has become of what it was 10 years ago? It's like how much difference is it right now? What do you think, Sarah?
It has changed quite a bit actually. So from the past, like people have been in the teenage years and the likes, they pretty much just show their emotions. I like you, you like me, or like give a gift, or like at the checkouts, for example, go to supermarkets. If someone is like the guy is on the checkout section and then they're paying and they like the girl who's at the checkout, they go, hey, they start to like they smile, like they start to say, I love your smile, I like this about you, that kind of stuff, and they start to ask for the number over the counter, sometimes like that. So that's very old school, and also just use different ways, naturally, old school ways, old fashioned. That's why we call it old fashioned dating, but that's how it used to be over then. And also many other different ways to show your interest for the person that you're wanting to go closer with or wanting to have a good connection with.
Yeah.
So you could do all kinds of ways like that. But in today's world, everything's relied on digital. So everything's gone digital with technology, but also through using apps. So apps is a really fast way of getting people online, and also using online to meet the person in person. Because if you do it the old-fashioned way, which it used to be in the back of the past, like 10 years ago, it's very hard to get those people, to find those people. So you have to literally go to a party or go to like a friend's, like go to like a friend's situation, or go out with friends, have some mutual gatherings and introducing them, or someone introducing you, and make contact with each other that way. And also like if you bump into someone in the middle of the mall or at the bus stop or anything, start chatting and you start to like each other and you can exchange that way, which is great, which is perfect way to do it because you're already facing the person right there, so you already know how the personality, how they are already. But it's just skipping the step from being online first, because you don't have that much judgmental side of it. So if you're doing the old-fashioned way, then you have to you don't have to worry about how it is, like comparing them how they're texting versus in person, because you skip that texting online part, getting to know each other, phone screening type of situation before you go into the real situation. So like if you are going, so you already know how they are, so you don't have to have that kind of biased kind of decision or like kind of thinking with that person, or the stereotype, he must be like this. But you already know, you already started talking, you already see the personality, it's already shown in front of you, and you just need to see how that goes. But for online, it's a bit different because you don't know anything. You just see a picture on the app, you're just swiping, you just like the way they look, this is like that, and you kind of guess what kind of person they look like. What kind of person they are. They're going to be like, is it going to be an introvert, it's going to be extrovert, they might be fun to hang out with or not fun to hang out with, based on the pictures. But when you start chatting, it might be a different story. They might start chatting really boring, they don't text much, or they're texting really crappy conversation. You don't really get a conversation flow, and then you meet them, they might be completely opposite of what they were in texting. So they might be texting really boring, and then in person they're super active. But then if you're in texting, you might be strong chemistry, you got a strong connection, everything's going amazing. But then in person they don't say anything, they're so quiet, and then it's very opposite to what they were in texting. So that's a big difference from how it was in old-fashioned way. Some people still prefer old-fashioned dating, which is more natural and it's a bit slower, but the same result can happen. It might not work out, it might work out. But for online dating, you just faster to get someone, just instantly, just on the swipe, get a match, go out, arrange a time to get out, and then so
Then it doesn't work out.
it can go either way. So it might work out, might not work out, and then you can decide how you want to
Makes
manage
sense.
it from there. Yeah.
Well, thanks for explaining.
No worries.
It was very good and detailed explanation. Now, what do you think people are looking now when they are actually looking dating? I mean, what they are most looking for?
What they're most looking for.
You can say men or women differently if you like.
So men and women are pretty much the same these days. But speaking from a woman's point of view, for female, because I'm a female, so I'm looking for guys, and same for guys who are looking for girls. And they're straight people, unless they're not straight people, like the rainbow thing, LBTHQ, whatever you guys call it. So that kind of thing. But if you're totally straight, obviously girls to guys. What's the question?
Yeah, so what do you think people are most looking for? Like you can say men what they are most looking for. Probably I'll be interested in women what they're most looking for,
Yeah.
We all have our answers in the mind, but
yes, we do.
It's just what Sarah says about it.
So most guys these days, like 90%, 80 to 90% are looking for friends and benefits or casual, or either one. So they're not looking for anything serious or long-term or marriage or anything like that. Everyone wants to have their fun, wants to have their freedom, less drama, no stress, no like arguing or fighting or commitment, because most people just want to have fun. They just don't want to be strictly with someone because they want to, enjoy their life. They don't want to be restricted. Where you going? Who you texting? You have to come back by this time, or getting restricted, having a lot of restriction, and also being possessive about that other person. But until you're ready to be in a relationship, then you can start looking for something long term and focus on that one person. But if someone who's not ready to commit to one person, that's the only way. The only way is to be casual or friends with benefits, which is the best way. If you don't want commitment, you can share the same person, a different person with doing the same thing, which is also known as an open relationship. So open relationship is like the same as going into a relationship, a proper serious relationship, but you're not serious with one person. You're open to do it with many people doing the same thing. So it's okay. We need our physical intimacy, we need our physical touch, the quality time spent together. We miss those times emotionally with someone, and so that's why there is friends with benefits and casual there for it. But if you just want to focus on doing it with one person, you just want someone to care, don't share emotions and feelings with different people, because it does waste a lot of people's time and feelings, and you get too attached, and then you have to break it off and go to someone else do the same thing. So you want to give it all to one person. If you're looking for that serious one. If you're not going to do that, just stick with friends with benefits in that younger age. But when you're older age, over 30 for women, we need to start looking to settle down. But can be open to something like that, friends with benefits or casual. But usually.
So what is women looking for mostly in a dating environment? Let's say about 30.
So we're looking for someone who can settle with, or at least going into a good genuine connection to start with. So and then see where it leads. I think it's the same to everyone. Because when you ask guys what you're looking for, they usually say, I'm not sure at the moment. Let's see how it goes and go with the flow. But that really pisses me off, because usually, of course, you're gonna go with the flow. That's what everyone's gonna do. That's why you go with the flow, see what happens. But when the flow goes, where do you want that flow to go? It has to go to a certain direction, go somewhere with that flow. You can't keep flowing, and it has no destination. You have to reach somewhere with something. Like whereabouts in your where do you stand in your life? You're working too hard, or you're focused on your career side. You don't want to settle. That makes sense. So you only can do friends with benefits, still have some fun, but also work on your career. Or you just came out from your relationship. You don't have that kind of ability, or you don't think you're ready for another relationship anytime soon. So you want to get over that person by doing these kind of stuff, or just take some time to heal and then get into a relationship. But otherwise, things like that. So people should know where they stand, and they should let you know, hey, I'm in this situation, so I'm not ready for anything serious. Or they go, at this stage I'm not open to anything serious because of this reason. But then if they go, at this moment I haven't found my right person yet, but I will start from friends with benefits or something casual and see how the vibes and connections goes. If it goes well, I'll be open to something serious or something like that. At least they can give you some idea of what people want. So don't waste each other's time, and but there's just too many people who are looking for that friends with benefit side, which is just an easier option to go with.
Makes sense. All right. So what is the expectations now? Let's talk about expectations.
What kind of expectations?
What's the expectation that men and women have
So if it's for friends with benefits or casual situation, it doesn't matter too much because there's no commitment, there's no things that you need to worry about each other. If they go, I need to like go here now, they won't say, where you going? Like they won't care about where you're going. You're not committed to them, so they don't care where you're going or what you're doing because they know you're in a single life, so you can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
They know that you're gonna be maybe seeing other guys or seeing other girls, but they won't tell you unless you tell them, hey, I'm seeing this, I'm going on a date.
Yeah.
Then they will know, she's going on a date, she's seeing other guys apart from me, so they know that. But if you don't tell them, they probably already know that anyway. But because they know you're in a single situation, so you get the full like freedom to do whatever you want. But then if someone starts to like you from that dating side of friends, benefits, casual, whatever, like going with the flow situation, then they start to get serious feelings over time when they hang out with you. Then they start to show a bit differently. So the way they started off as a benefit, they might start to like care for you, or the way they treat you, they talk with you, the way they behave with you will be very different from someone who's just looking for friends or benefits. So you can start to see the changes of behavior over time. And sometimes they can be very straightforward through the way they speak, what they say. So what they say is like who are you going out with this time? If you're free, we can catch up whenever you can, something like that. So they get you, so you can kind of know they want to spend as much time as you with you, not just So they will kind of like show some ways to pick you, to like ask you out to this place, and then always spare time for you to do things. So they're just going the extra mile from what a normal benefits situation would do. So you kind of figure it out. If they don't tell you that, you'll get to know. If they do tell you, that's great. So they're being straightforward about everything.
Right.
But if they don't be straightforward, you can tell through actions and behavior. But even for that, it does get confusing because when you in the situation when you're you get on really close, but then they go, I don't want a relationship, so that means you're treating them like a relationship, and then they're treating you like a benefits, but they're actually the same type of feelings and vibes because you've got the strong bond, strong connection and vibes, but you're looking for different things. So that's why it's another annoying thing because all three things have in common: the casual friends with benefits plus the relationship all have one thing in common, which I said before, which is like connection and vibes and energy matching, or the compatibility. If you get that really well, you can get into any type of relationship out of these three. But if you want to get into that serious side, you have to do a bit of a twitch, like a tweak of how you're going to transition between that benefits to a serious one, or behave a bit differently.
Makes sense.
Yeah, but it seems to be like everyone's looking for the benefit side of things because they just don't want to be with one person. They just want to have the freedom, do whatever they feel like, and don't be restricted in one place.
Makes sense. Well, thanks for explaining these things. Now, one of the biggest struggles, what do you think people are facing to find a date? Now we're talking about relationships, and now we're not talking about casuals, so that would be a biggest struggle. So what's the struggle do you think people are facing, when they're trying to find the right partner?
The struggle is basically like getting the right connection and vibe first, because vibe and connection comes first, number one. So you always have to find that connection, to have good vibe, you get along.
So how do you get the vibe? So I can ask you more questions.
So you need to create that vibe. You need to for example, if someone who's really strong in their connections, like for example, someone who's very outgoing, very extroverted, and you're the same, then it's easier because you guys have the same type of fire, or the ways of the personality is very similar, so it's very easy. Compared to someone who's introverted and you're the one who's talking, laughing, and being open and being your own self, and they're just like, they're just not saying anything bored. But introverts can open up over time if they get comfortable, but there's some introverts just stay the same. That's just don't change. That's just how they are. You can't do much about it. So it's very hard to get someone's connection first. But once you get the connection vibe, you've got some type of connection. Doesn't have to always have to match exactly what you want. Like for example, if I'm looking for high energy, matching with someone else who's got high energy, nothing has to be done about the thing that's already happening. If someone who's got lower energy, as long as you can still hang out, still get along somehow, that's all good. But then,
So what's the struggle? What's the struggle in finding the right? Do you think dating apps are not working, or?
The struggle is either way, because without the dating app, it's very hard because you have to find them naturally, which is okay. Like go to clubs or go to parties or go to events or whatever. that situation, which is all meetup groups. That's a great way of doing it, but it's a very slow way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Online apps is like just swipe, match, got it, arrange a time. And
well, I have to say, it's more easy for women to get a date than a man on dating app, you know? It's a fact.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Reality.
it's a reality. Yeah, it's very difficult.
Women feel like, okay, I want a date, okay, 2 sides, okay, go on, okay, go to two. Men, they keep swapping forever.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyways.
So it's very like first to get the connection and vibe and connection, and once that's gone, then you can build up from there and then use different ways to attract them. Use different ways of like, I like this about you, I like that about you. You got nice this, nice that, or like we should do this more, or like the way you kind of spend, you kind of like giving them the full attention. You're giving them the like you're not really if you have lack of communication with each other, like you're hardly talking with each other, you're connected together on apps and things, or social media or anything, or texting, but you hardly text each other. That means you're not really trying to make an effort to meet each other and make it happen.
Big point, yeah.
But like if you're just, if you wanted to, if you really like the person, you'll keep in touch regular basis.
Yeah.
Like, maybe not every day, but you still contact quite regularly. And then you always like react to things, tell each other things, and then like meet up quite frequently. And then all those kind of things. So you kind of keep that going, keep that fire, keep that consistent. If you're just going on and off, okay, we talk a few days and then we stop talking, or do a few texts and stop talking, and then the hardly text for the whole day, and then next day the same thing, and then you start texting a lot again, and then you stop talking. It's just very inconsistent. So you don't know what they actually want from this relationship that you're having with them.
Right.
So it's very confusing. So that's why it's better to ask them, what do you want from our relationship? Do you want something like a benefit, or do you want something like a relationship, or you want to open to a relationship from a benefit situation, or what do you want at this stage in your life? And then you can start to be open about it. You can either ask them from the beginning when you meet them, or you can go with the flow, see what happens, which everyone does these days. Just go with a benefit, friendship, or whatever. And then if the stuff happens, it happens. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. It might happen another time. It might happen on the day. It just depends on the flow and connection on the spot. Go with the flow, like be natural, be organic. And then, and go from there.
Great. So what's meant by healthy dating in your idea? What's in healthy dating?
Healthy dating is basically someone who is like having a healthy relationship between each other. There is no fights. There's no like too much pausing. When you're talking with them, like talking in generally when you're getting to know each other, talking. You're not like, okay, I'm saying something, you're not saying anything, and then, or you say something, I'm saying nothing. It's like, there's nothing going on, there's no communication going between each other, so there's not much point going further from this stage because it's pointless. In order to have a connection, you need to have good communication. Good communication leads to that connection.
Yeah.
So, and also you need to be happy with each other, like have some, like get along with each other, listen to each other, respect each other's opinions and ways and how they are. If this doesn't work well, or doesn't work with you, then you have to discuss it if you really want to make it, go forward with that person. But like,
makes sense.
if you completely don't agree with them, then you can just say, sorry, this is just how I think. Like, I don't think we are a good match. Or like, or the personality, if you really don't like their personality or the way they treat you, but that's just how they are. If they have a very strong personality, you have a very, it's a bit lower, and then you think that's too strong for you, or they just too toxic or something. Saying, so this is not gonna work for us.
Makes sense.
And then you want to be happy together, everything's listening to each other, hang out happily, decide things quite easily, communication is quite easy. Everything is quite easy to make it healthy. Because if you're always going to be angry or arguing about certain things or stuff like that, different mindset can create different opinions, and different opinions can create different, results of,
It's better to be single, right? Single again.
That's why a lot of people prefer to be single or friends with benefits, so they can do whatever they want freely. When they're committed to someone, they have to be restricted to certain things, and you can't do this and that with other girls or other guys. You only can do this with me. And if they are wanting to do that, then they both have to discuss an open relationship between both of them. So the guy can do whatever to the girl, and the girl can do whatever to the guys. But you have to agree on that. You have an open relationship. But a lot of people are doing that as well. But a lot of people are not doing that. They're only serious with one person. Monogamy, which is how it's supposed to be.
Right. Okay, supposed to be. It's a
Yeah.
good idea. Well, I have an interactive question for the audience. Like, audience can say about it if they want to. So let's say, imagine you are on a date, and whether you are male or female, you have a partner on the date, and the other partner spends half of the time on the phone, right? So my question is it a deal breaker for the audience? They will answer, and what about you? What do you do?
So it's not a deal breaker, because a deal breaker is something that you really can't handle with that person, or something that will affect your relationship or affect your situation with that person and the feelings that you have with them and everything you're doing with the person.
Right.
People have maybe a habit of texting. Like, I mean, it's fine if you're texting. Like, obviously you can't. I mean, if you want the full attention of the person, you definitely don't text. You just keep away from the phone, and when they go into the bathroom or going somewhere, you can use your phone. And
I think it's a good idea.
Yeah, so like
Not often anyway.
like situations like that, or like even when you're with them, you can also text a little bit, but then leave it aside, and then you can text again after like maybe 2 hours or like after half an hour, but not constantly texting back and forth when you're with the person, and that's very rude, very disrespectful. You're not giving attention to them. Is like, you here with me, or you go with that person, or you're going to be like
on their phone.
on your phone all the time. So you need to be able to, know where you want with this person and how much you like this person. If you like this person, you would have to spend as much effort and time and attention to them. If you don't really care about this person, it's like, oh, I don't really feel the vibe with this person, I don't really like him, I don't really think there's anything going on between this. You can probably do that, and then he'll probably get the message saying, oh, she's not really interested in me. And then eventually, if you stop talking to them, they will know, oh, I got my answer. Things like that's indirect kind of way to figure things out without people telling you, I don't like you, or like, let's not go further from here. There's signals that people send, like texting, they're just like looking away all the time. Like, there's different,
very subtle ways,
Yes, subtle ways, yeah. And then without, actually telling them, sorry, it's not going to work out. If you're straightforward person, you'll tell them. If you're not straightforward, you just use different ways to make them like stop liking you, or stop your interest, or like, things like that. And that's not working naturally that way too.
Well, I think people have now become more not so straightforward, and they are not the person who's just gonna come straight and say, hey, this is not okay. They can't even say that. They use all type of unusual ways to indicate that this is what's going to happen. Now, before we close, I have a question for you. So let's say, what's your advice for guys, who want to find a quick date, you know what I mean? So it can be any category. You just want to hang out with somebody, right? And the dating apps don't quite work for men at the end of the day. It's the reality. What's your advice for men, to get a date?
That's very easy. Online apps is the best way to do it, because everyone's on the apps and they look for friends with benefits, hookups, friends with benefits. That's the best thing for apps, because that's what everyone is looking for. 80 to 90% are looking for those. Something that's non-commitment related, something just like single, no strings attached, like just like no worries, like just because I dealt with one person doesn't mean, oh, I've got another girl, I have to think about her or another guy. There's no one there in your life that has that. So you've got the freedom to do whatever you want.
Makes sense.
So you can get it from the apps mostly, but like you can get it from anywhere, like from like different like apps that will have like free ads, like not free ads, just like people that you may know, like that comes up. You can just randomly add them that way, or you can use online apps like Bumble, Tinder, Hinge, whatever. Ones you're using.
All of them.
I don't use Tinder, but I
use Tinder.
I used to use Tinder. So I can get it back again, because that's another thing. Bringing back to our previous question that you had in the past, the first initial one. People for Tinder, people who use Tinder in the beginning, they think it's a hookup site, casual site, which is true. Back then, but that time.
Yeah.
But now Tinder is not made for just hookups, casual thing, which is still there. It's still definitely there.
Yeah.
But they started to create the app which has features that's been changed from the past, which didn't have before. They got categories and stuff like nature, music, love, casual dating. They have different categories you can select, and you select in there, and you can just swipe people from there. but sometimes it might not be the same as what you think, because then when you ask them the question, they actually turn out to be different from what the categorized partners. But majority is still the same. So then it's like also figuring out what you want, like still figuring it out, looking for long term, short term, something casual, or like just so they do have categories.
Different categories,
and when you swipe on them, they actually say, oh, this person is actually still figuring things out, so you don't know what they're looking for. Or they're looking for long term. Oh, it says looking for long term. Okay, great. And you're looking for long term? Great. You can just start talking. You can confirm, hey, it says you're looking for long term. Is that correct? They go, yes. Or they go, oh, yeah, that's what it says, but I'm actually looking for something casual. So they might change the way what they say. But so it's not always what people think. There might be people who say it's casual there, but then the person might change their response saying, yeah, I does say casual, but if I come across the right person, I might be open to something relationship. So the people can change their answers. It can also apply to Bumble and Hinge and the other ones too.
All the apps.
At the end of the day, they're still a dating app, so that all dating apps have one thing in common, which is everyone looking for casual friends with benefits. But there's also a very small chance of relationship.
Okay, so you mean what do you mean is basically all these dating apps are just casuals mostly, and there's nothing to do with actually having a relationship, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Mostly the intention of people who are using it.
Yeah, most intention is looking for something casual, someone to accompany with, like something like if you feel lonely, you feel you want to have someone to hang out with, you say, hey, do you want to catch up? Do you want to meet up? Oh, I'm free at this time. You can like go out for like whatever you want to do. You can go for a movie, you can go out for coffee, drink, smoothie, you can go for lunch or dinner, and casual go for coffee, go for a beach walk or something. Go for different activities or anything that you want to do. Basically, it's the same as what you do for relationships. Because for relationships, you do the same thing, what you do with friends with benefits, except you're not focused on one person for the benefits. And relationships, you focus on one person. That's the only difference between the two. Everything else you do is the same. So
Wow, interesting. Yeah. Well, so on the closing of today's podcast, what we learned from Sarah is basically all the apps, it's nothing to do with relationship, mostly time pass. And personally, I have seen that everything is getting, even the serious platforms where it's supposed to get married, for marriage, they're also getting time pass anyway. So, and also that you probably think people do looking for genuine relationship, you know, at least some of them, you know.
Yes.
But mostly they're looking for casuals, and as Sarah already admit that it's much easier for a girl to get a date. It's like just like this, you know, than a guy, you know.
Yes.
That's really that. And so, what would be your closing lines from what we learned today is basically apart from the apps, you can still go out, and the old way was still works probably much better. You have more connections, direct connections than dating apps, but that's a bit slow, which is true. So what's your final closing lines before we close today's podcast? And what is the advice also?
So my closing is, it's easier to get a date online than in person. But online is probably not the best way to find the right person. As there to start to find the right person. Like start from casual or friends with benefits or friendship or anything that flows in between. And they'll be open to something serious. Otherwise, or they're just looking for something serious directly, or they are just open, just looking for benefits all the time. So everyone has a different requirement, but they have to be very clear what they want, so you don't waste each other's time. So that's from that side. And a lot of people can manipulate on what people's feelings are like. So for example, if someone is really into you, they act like a relationship. They treat each other like a relationship situation, and you're very close together, and it feels like a relationship. It feels like if you don't clarify what they want at the beginning, you assume they're looking for a relationship, but then when you ask them, they go, oh no, I can't look for anything serious right now. I'm looking for something casual or friends and benefits. Then you kind of wasted your time with that person by, showing all that effort and time and energy and money spent on each other. And you could have found someone else who could give you that same thing. So that's basically like a lot of emotional psychology, emotional feelings involved in this, which is really manipulates the minds of you and the other person, and it's a manipulation game in the
Yeah.
dating world. So what they so it's very hard to find out what people are actually wanting,
Mm.
and then if they tell you what they want, they might not be turning out to be the way you thought they were saying, because
Yeah.
people can change their minds all the time. But if the person keeps it consistent, that's the real person. That's the real person you need to cherish and
Makes
make
sense.
sure you can maintain the person down the line
Yeah.
further. But the best thing to do is to clarify what you want from the beginning rather than down the line, because then you won't get hurt easily from there. Because if you start to, it feels like a breakup if you start to, say, I don't want to talk to you now because for the best, because you already gained that feelings for that person.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so now we can't go forward because we're looking for different things and we've gained that feelings with each other. So you either have to be friends with benefits or you have to go nothing.
Yeah.
So, or you go nothing, because if you go benefits, you might have the connection to fall in love with them if you're feeling a bit more. So you want to cut out completely with that person. If you stay friendship, you have to make sure you don't have that feeling to come back with that person.
Makes sense.
So you have this, it's like dating management.
you might even start your course on dating, probably feeling management. How do you manage your feeling or something
How
like
do you
that?
manage your feelings, your dating, how do you manage your people, you categorize them, and this is exactly what I'm doing in my dating life right now, is you categorize them into categories. So you got your yes, which means you're definitely going to the next stage, which means you're going to meet them again and you're going to focus on making it better or good.
Yeah.
No, definitely not going to work out, sorry, I just
It's
missed you.
not-
And there's a maybe, which means you're figuring it out. Okay, yeah, he's got good in this, he's not good in that, but we can be worked on. Let's see how it goes. There's a maybe, and it can turn into a yes or no after that. And there's also potential, which means that you know that something's going to go well with this person, and you want to continue potentially with this, and it might be turning out something potential. So that's the best way to do it, and eliminate as you go. So like
Makes sense.
if you don't like the person, it doesn't work out, and it's
It's
not
a game of elimination.
don't like it, just eliminate, so you don't waste your time with that
Yeah.
person. And yeah, it's better to have quality people rather than quantity.
Yeah.
Just like quality friendships over quantity of friendships.
Yeah.
Same concept.
Makes sense. Well, thanks, Sarah, for joining our podcast, and I hope you guys will enjoy this podcast. And also, please comment what you guys want us to cover on the topics. And yeah, well, thank you very much, and enjoy the rest of your day.
Yeah. Peace.
Okay, cheers, bye.